If I'm not confident about it, believe me, you will sabotage yourself.
One or two which you think is the biggest mistake what people are not doing, and if they would be just doing it, they would increase their sales.
And what I love about sales is when I'm in front of a person, everything else disappears. I get into a zone where I see the person, I see the potential, I see the building of a relationship.
So thank you very much, Katherina, for coming to my podcast, Business Breakthroughs. It's a privilege to have you, especially you mentioned you are in Vancouver. It's for you just 6:30 a.m. So a lot of people, they would just keep sleeping, but not you. You are here, sharp, and on my podcast. So thank you very much for that. Would you mind just opening up and sharing a little bit more about you and about what is it you do? And maybe what is your, I don't know, bigger maybe vision or mission, which gonna get you going every morning?
My name is Katherina Cortes and based in Vancouver. At the moment, I am a chief revenue officer for a fintech company here in Vancouver. But what I really love and I'm more passionate about is sales. And the reason for that is because it helps me reach out to people, especially reach out to people and talk to people one-to-one, whether in person or through a Zoom like this with Vincent. By the way, Vincent, thank you so much for inviting me here. You know, you put so much value out there. I've watched so many of your videos and they're very engaging, by the way. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Put a lot of value to your audience. Yes. So what gets me up in the morning? At this point in my life, it's purpose, right? Purpose draws me in. In the past, when I was younger, it was more about motivation. Like I said, you know, pushing yourself to get up. But right now, it's really purpose. So when I get up, I know what I need to do. I know what I want to do. So that's what it is.
Amazing. Perfect. Would you mind sharing it? What is the purpose for you?
The purpose is doing something that I feel is going to be of some kind of significance to somebody. It's going to be of big value, but it's also going to create a massive impact through small steps, big steps, and larger steps. It could be small steps for myself, but I actually believe that it could have a ripple, a catalyst effect to other things in either the business world or just in human connection.
Yeah.
And
okay, so having an impact for people, helping. You mentioned that you are doing on one-to-ones as well. So if you would be specific, what that could be like, how that could look like, if you have a day where you would say at the end of the day, it was a very purposeful day. I've accomplished a lot. I helped this and this and this. Specifically, what that would be?
Well, in the past, I'll give you some examples. In the past, I have done a lot with fundraising for various charities. So I did that for 3.5 years. I had trained a team of over 100 young people to do some of the most difficult work in sales, which is door-to-door fundraising.
Wow.
Right? Imagine I just knocked on your door right now, Vincent, right? And you're doing something. So it was really very challenging. But the good news is it really got me out of my comfort zone every single moment, not just every single day, but every single moment. And I had to deliver value very quickly. I had to have a pitch, and I also had to learn about the person in front of me. Not only that, I had to train young people who normally sometimes are not motivated to do this. So that's one example, right? So now as a chief of revenue, I go to different industries, whether it's charities, solopreneurs, businesses, hotels, and promote our fintech venture. So that what that means is, what is a good day for me? Like yesterday, I went to see one of our hotel clients who I was onboarding with our fintech venture. And with this fintech venture, it's a new technology. So that means that I have to show them how this could work for them and to also invite them to try something new, which is not always easy. But it went very well. There's some hesitation sometimes, but I overcome some of those hesitations just by being personal and really conveying the fact that we're in this together and I'm here to us and help you as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing. I mean, door-to-door fundraising, that doesn't seem like too much fun.
Yeah. But you know what, Vincent? The young people that did actually do it and they really gave it a go. They
Yeah.
really loved it. And we got to fundraise for amazing causes, whether it's humanitarian, environmental. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun, but actually it's also good exercise.
Yeah. I really like to listen often on YouTube, Jim Rohn, and he's sharing their story when I mean in the USA there's a lot of these Girl Scout cookies, they are selling them, and then he was mentioning that they knock on his door and they came and they wanted him to buy the cookies, but he was so embarrassed because he didn't even have $2 in the past to buy it, so he lied to them and that he has, so then he bought in the past, but it was like kind of this door to door, and basically that it was just like that it was bottom of his life, and after in the future he already was prepared for them. But yeah, I can imagine, like, if you're younger, probably you don't see it as a big problem. You just go and whatever is going to happen, if it's for a good cause, so why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking to ask you, because obviously if you are helping people and sales is a big thing for you and you've done it for a very long time, would you mind maybe sharing some things or maybe some steps about sales? Because this is what everybody needs for any business, uh, or even if there are just people employed, they need to be able to sell themselves. So would you have a, I don't know, 3-step, 5-step, 7-step process, what it needs to happen in order to have that sale? And if you do, would you want to share a little bit about it? Not too much in detail, so you don't need to know everything, but just a little bit so it can help people.
Yes, of course. And that is honestly some of the biggest struggles with businesses, right? Is talking to people and doing sales. And JT, who you and I know, actually, he was my coach at one point, and he's been a very good coach because it's not just a matter of talking; it's actually a matter of showing. Right? I followed because he showed, and so what that means is when I meet someone, the first thing is you need to do some research. But in door to door, I couldn't do research because I didn't know who was opening the door. So the first thing is to break the ice, right? If I came up to your, let's say, your doorstep, and I saw you and you came out and you're dressed like this, and I'm dressed like this, and I'd say, you know what? Did we have a meeting today? Because we seem to be dressed ready for a meeting together. So that breaks the ice, right? Instead of knocking on the door and pitching. So with any circumstance, you have to break the ice because at the end of the day, the other person is also a human being, and they need to be noticed because we need to break that old brain, like I say, it's caveman brain that's been in our brain for millions of years, which is a fear and flight response, right? As soon as we break that, then we can engage them more. You have to practice your pitch, right? And also you have to lead the conversation to the point where you want it to go. You can talk about other things to basically connect with the person, but your conversation has to keep going towards the area where you want to lead that conversation. And also you need to ask for the close. Most people don't ask for a close, and that actually stalls the conversation, and both parties don't know where to go. And before all of this, before you even engage with the person, make sure whatever you're selling, you're confident about. What does that mean? Would I use it? If I'm not confident about it, believe me, you will sabotage yourself. So if I'm trying to sell you something that I don't feel good about, I'll probably not do the best job. Is because I'm not confident about it. And you have to be honest. Authenticity is the biggest commodity in business, and people can tell. You also have to visualize, practice, and really engage with the person. And also see it from the perspective of the other person, but also see it above the perspective of the other person. What does that mean? Always stay on a positive note. If someone says something negative, acknowledge it, but also don't go down there in a more negative tone, right?
Mhm.
Bring it up, bring the conversation up to a more positive tone.
Mhm.
And like I said, go for the close and always believe that you have something good to offer. And that's how you can actually close. And someone else will actually try and close that person. So it might as well be you who has a good intention.
Mhm.
So those are some of the tips that I have for sales. Very quickly, anyway.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So what would you think from these points what you mentioned, what people are usually missing? What is the mistake people are doing when they are selling from some of this what you mentioned, or maybe something else? What is in your mind? One or two which you think is the biggest mistake what people are not doing, and if they would be just doing it, they would increase their sales.
Overthinking.
Overthinking, yeah. I have a video about it on my YouTube, like a recent video. Overthinking, yes.
Yes, that's a paralysis right there. Trying to make it perfect in your mind. At the end of the day, these are two people. It's a conversation. You cannot make it so perfect in your mind that you have dismissed the other person. This is almost disrespectful.
Mhm.
So all you have to do is, like I said, break the ice, do your research, and do your best.
Mhm.
After that, it's 5, 4, 3, do it.
Mhm.
Um, that is the biggest struggle I find that people have is overthinking and not actually doing all the other stuff around sales, whether it's looking at leads or looking at
Yeah.
so that's why I'm excited about some of the things like maybe AI can do for us.
Mhm.
Um, but at the end of the day, you are still the number one when it comes to sales. You have to do it. And the more you do it, the more you will build a momentum. Once you build that momentum, and what I love about sales is when I'm in front of a person, everything else disappears. I get into a zone where I see the person, I see the potential, I see the building of a relationship. And unless you actually start that conversation, you won't get there. But once you actually do it for a while and repeatedly, it actually becomes a very, very rewarding, not only rewarding, but also like a beautiful experience, I would say. But yes, it's overthinking.
Mhm. Perfect. Thank you. Why do you think people are scared to sell?
Um, Maybe they're not confident about what they're selling.
Mhm.
So, number one, you have to be confident. How do you build confidence? By starting, by experimenting, by finding out what you need to work on. But unless you start that process, you won't know,
Mhm.
right? And maybe it's a product, maybe it's a service that they're selling. You're not quite confident about it, or you don't feel honest about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you will probably make yourself less successful by
Mhm.
doing that. And also just fear. People have a fear of being rejected. The truth is, people never ever say the word no. People always have this thing in their mind that I'm going to get a no. But the truth is, that word never comes out. It'll come out in different ways. Let me think about it.
Okay, I'll get back to you.
Yeah, exactly. But the word no, that people have the thing in their head that is going to come out, rarely. I can't recall when it actually comes out.
Would you like to join my coaching? No. All right. Okay. Take it easy. Take it easy. Okay. So when you actually pointed out to these objections, uh, would you mind to overcome some of the objections that are common when people, like you said, like I'll get back to you. What would you say on that if somebody will tell you, I'll get back to you?
I actually do an objection handling before that comes up.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So what
Yes.
beforehand?
Yeah. So I'll probably say, you probably never expected that I would ask you this question. Is that right? So I would probably overcome the objection before it even comes up. So I need to read the person. I need to read their body language. I need to read where they're looking. And so if someone says, I'll get back to you, of course. I actually have to get back to somebody else as well, just like yourself. But I'm talking to this person, and they were talking about this. Is this something that you were thinking about? Why would you need to get back to me? Right. So I dig deeper.
Mhm.
And yeah, but apart from that, I usually handle the objection first
Yeah, yeah.
before it even comes up.
Yes. So, for example, if you are selling something which is more expensive, how would you handle the objection beforehand? Let's say I charge for coaching £15,000 for a year. And if I would say that at the end, yeah, they might say something different, like I'll think about it, whatever. But what they are really saying, I cannot afford it. So at this stage, so how would you handle objection like that beforehand, before it would come up?
Yes. So I would say first give all the value that you can about the service that you are providing, and ask them about some of the things that have caused them to get to this point that they are in front of you.
Mhm.
So you have a cost of how much that person is being cost by not having the service.
Yes.
And so usually the last thing that people delineate on is price when they don't see the value.
Yeah.
So make sure that you have done your research, you have connected with the person, so that at that last bit, when it comes with the price, you say, I understand. I actually thought about this before you brought it up. Right. So acknowledge it, but also say that from what you and I have discussed, it's already cost you beyond this much. So
Yeah.
let's work on something so that this problem doesn't even get bigger. It'll cost you even more.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Some kind of a comparison, find out more how much it cost them until now. If they don't change anything, how much it's going to cost them into the future. And the comparison should help with that objection.
And also the gain that the person gets from, let's say, working with you or working with the product or the service.
Yeah, yeah,
I
absolutely.
think you also need to share the vision of
Mm,
what that could look like for that person
mm,
or their company.
mm. Yeah. Seems like people in general, and when it comes to anything, product, service, doesn't matter what it is, if you are telling them something and they are like, yeah, that's good, it's good value, they understand it and they know it's going to help them. But when it comes after, going for it, it's like to making that decision on the spot, people just don't want to make a decision. Even though it's good for them to do it, they just don't want to make a decision. Why is that?
Sometimes it has to do with their type of personality.
Mhm.
Some people are more, yeah, let's do it, right? They get excited. But
Yeah.
also at the back, it's like once they buy it, they don't do anything with it. That's one type of person. There's
Yes.
a type of person that wants to really look at everything. I want to research everything. I want to see what other people are saying about it, and then they can make a decision. They're really like that. Uh,
Mhm.
but
What kind of person you are when you are buying?
I'm more of the let's go do it.
Okay. So I know when I have something to sell you, so I know. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
I just
that's
need
how it is.
now I need to go back to step one. I'll do research for what you need, and then I'll get back to you.
Yeah, but that's different personalities. It doesn't mean that it's always a no,
Yes.
right? The second personality who likes to do research, they probably will get back to you. They might even ask their wife or husband, but if they like it, they'll make a decision. But if you push them too much, they probably won't like it either.
Yeah.
Some people don't like to be pushed on the spot.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's also just building more rapport, just following up. But
Yes.
also, when I mean following up, it means not annoying that person. So every time you have an interaction with that person, it has to be of a bigger value.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, ask for the close.
Mhm. Okay.
But
Uh,
yeah, there's a reason why people don't want to say yes on the spot. It's because of also that fear of flight response. that everyone has because it's been there in our amygdala for millions of years.
Yes, 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 absolutely. No, yeah, you are right. That's absolutely good. Um, when you mentioned about people have a problem to ask for a close at the end, so what kind of a closes do you do? How do you ask for a close?
I ask, well, it seems like you and I have been talking for a while, and you've liked everything I've said so far. And I think that you and I we'll have a good partnership. And so the next step would just be for us to sign the contracts.
Mhm.
So what I can do is actually just get that together and
Mhm.
have it, and I'll send it to you. Have a look at it. And if you have any questions, I put everything together that you and I have talked about. And what I can do is send that contract today.
Mhm.
Sounds good?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. Send it over.
Okay. Great.
Perfect. Yeah, very nice. Do you
So
have
I
any?
don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. It has to
Yes.
be simpler.
It needs to be simple. Yeah, complexity will kill the deal. And any other close? Do you use different type of clothes on different type of people? Because this seems to be for a person who is more like a mature, who agree what you are saying because you are in aligned. But if someone is on the other side, they are like usually if you say something, they have something else to say. They are like saying the opposites. You have a different clothes for that kind of a person, which will be like a mismatcher.
Yeah. So I I watch the body language, and if someone is like they're thinking about it, right? There's a part of them that wants it.
Yeah.
So I try to find that person. I see the body language like they're thinking about it, but there's also the resistance of moving back,
Uh-huh.
right? So I try to find the other person who wants it. Look,
Mhm.
Vincent, I really like you. I would love to work with you, but that's up to you and I. It's not just up to me. I see some hesitation in you. That's okay, right? Because we don't know, you don't know everything at this point. But I suggest that you give it a try, and you and I can work in the next 7 days more closely so that you have an understanding of where you and I can go together within this period. And after this period, if you don't feel like it is for you, I can give you your money back. Does that sound good? If money is their objection, right? I would do that.
Yeah.
But it's really when you see the body language is trying to bridge that gap. It's
Yes.
not trying to sell them. It's trying to find where they are and then offer them something that they can accept at that moment. It
Yes.
doesn't have to be the perfect sell that you're trying to think about. It has to be the one that they will accept.
Mhm. Mhm. And you few times already mentioned that you are watching their body language. How did you learn how to read the body language?
I just talk to so many people, so many people. Talking to at least 120 people a day, that'll do that to you.
Yeah, yeah,
And you have to be quick because people are busy, people have lost a lot of patience.
mhm,
And so you have to be quick when it comes to assessing, breaking the ice, making a connection.
mhm,
And just so you know, just a little bit of a background about me. I grew up very, very shy, Vincent. So I didn't speak for the first 8 years of my life. And but what happened when I was so shy, I observed a lot. So that means that I could observe somebody and really get into getting to know them without speaking.
mhm,
And that I think is something that we don't think about in sales is observation,
mhm,
being cognizant of your environment, being cognizant of movements, being cognizant of energy between people. So things like
mhm.
this.
Good, good. I hope I have a good assessment from you. Mhm. Yeah,
Of course. I
yeah.
watched some of your videos. I really enjoyed them.
Good, good.
Not just because you're a good personality, but also you put a lot of value into people. I think I really respect that.
Thank you, thank you. And if you would say something wrong, I would just tell the editor to cut it anyway, so it'll be all right. And for your business and for what is it you do and with the sales, do you use any, you pointed out the beginning a little bit of about AI. Is there any AI tools you are utilizing for yourself, maybe teaching some of your people be better in selling or any other area of the life? I don't know.
Well, of course, I use AI because I use it not only number one as a sounding board, but I also do it for research. What I mean by as a sounding board is, let's say I'm going to be meeting with this certain client, or even say with Vincent. I have these ideas about the meeting, and this is what I want to accomplish. This is how long it's going to be. I've only met this person once, or haven't. So I go through a whole scenario, and I tell. It's almost like my best friend in sales, and I tell them everything that I have in my mind. And then I say, this is what I want to accomplish at this point. Give me some pointers on how to get there. Give me 5 pointers, 10 pointers, make it succinct, make it respectful, make it forward thinking. So I do that every day, and even emails and reminders for follow-ups, research for sure. What I think what people do when it comes to sales is they go for the lowest hanging fruit, which can be the most difficult because some people really have difficulty making a decision. So when you say that I'm just going to go ask my neighbor John about this and try it out, it may not be a good idea, right? You have to find more in the middle and the higher ground. Like I recently had messaged a CEO of a 2 Fortune 500 companies, and he was one of the most easiest people I've ever talked to, and actually got to meet. And people think that they would be the most difficult. No, actually, because they have a lot of experience. They have a lot of experience with making decisions.
Yes.
Do you find that as well?
Yes. Yeah. Since I started with coaching 4 years ago, 3.5, yeah, something like that. I started obviously I had to build it up, so I was charging like £600 for 6 weeks, 6 sessions, then 3,000, and so on and so on. Now it's 15,000, and every time I work on myself, I go to events, I learn more, I educate myself, start charging more money for new clients, so it's easier to close them and it's better clients than the people who pay you less money, because it's so difficult for them to close for 3,000. And I get it, for them it's a big decision, maybe in the area of their life where they are. But higher I go, so I attract better clients, and it's easier to work with them as well. And also they appreciate it more, so they take more action. So definitely I agree that it's sometimes we think like it's easier to sell to someone we know rather than someone who's like on the higher level, but the opposite can be true. Yeah.
Yeah. And also with AI, of course, it does most of the research for you. And also the hesitation that you and I talked about, it can help with that as well. But at the end of the voice, you are the voice of the sales.
Yeah.
That cannot be removed, I think. But over time, also, it can mimic who you are and what your intention is and what your voice is.
Yeah.
So it just expands your capability. And it can also work when I'm sleeping.
Yeah. Just 3 weeks ago, I was running actually my first sales training with my business partner Louis, who is also an insider in here in the offices where I am right now. 4 people flew from Germany, and then what they were doing, they had a lot of clients coming to them because they need their services, but they are selling them everybody through the messages only. And they were like, hey, we need to change it. Okay, at least the phone call. If you don't want to show the face, it's fine. But at least the phone calls, we need to start doing these phone calls. So for the past 3 weeks, they started making the phone calls. We taught them how to do it, how to build a rapport and all these things. And they increased the sales like rapidly. I'm not sure exactly the percentage yet because I'm waiting for a full month to close, so to see the difference. but like they increased a lot and they are every day sending in the messages in the WhatsApp group like, yeah, it's amazing, the phone calls works. And I'm like, of course, because you are using your voice. You have much more to use of your instrument just than the text. Text is nothing. So even the simple things like that, people don't do, especially today. Everybody's hiding behind the screen and trying to sell you something.
My priority actually with sales is number one, face to face.
Yes.
Number two, phone call.
Mhm.
Right. And the last one is email and any kind of message.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's
But people, like you said, they go for the email first, right?
because they think it's because it's easier for them to send an email than to do the face to face. But face to face in person, this is the best. Like when I do in person meeting to offering something, they have no escape. Like I'm there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, but it does happen a lot where people think I'm going to send a bunch of emails, and in my experience, this is not the best way.
No. It's just more like for a follow up or sending the proposal when you already talk about, so they need to check it. So yeah, but not to make a sale. Yeah. And okay, I'll ask you last two questions and we'll wrap it up. What do you think, and how long are you with JT Fox? Because obviously we are all part of JT Fox community. So how long are you already with him, and how he helped you on your journey?
I've been with him since 2019,
Mhm.
and I have gone to almost all of the mega success since then. I have gone for coaching with him. How's he helped me? Before I met him, I didn't really know what business was really like.
Mhm.
What I mean by that is I had an idea, but also I didn't have any steps on how to get there. Keep in mind, my before I met him, my first business was a restaurant. And
Mhm.
so it was a very challenging business. But also how JT has helped me is he has shown me through his action of what hard work is. So before I even did fundraising, I already understood what it's like to work every day, right?
Mhm.
And to build that momentum, especially in sales. And I know he's a great closer. So I observed, I watched, I studied him as well. And of course, he gave us a lot of resources. And he also did a great video with me in another industry where him and Francine had really shown some really amazing vulnerability to help me get more clients. So, in those many ways, I think he's been very consistent, not only as a coach, but also as a mentor
Mhm.
for me and business.
That's amazing. It's very nice to hear. So you are with him 6 years now, because I'm new. I joined January, so I'm asking everybody. So that's great. And then I would have a last question to ask you. Um, so the podcast is called Business Breakthrough, right? So what was your biggest business breakthrough in your business, which helped you on your journey? What do you think? If you have anything like that?
The biggest business breakthrough, it's definitely sales. It's
Mhm.
learning sales.
Learning sales.
It's accepting sales.
Yes.
Accepting it's a part of my everyday. And from then on, I had changed completely. Once I accepted that this was going to be just a part of my life and I was going to enjoy it, and
Mhm.
if in fact it was going to be a fuel towards my purpose, sales is not difficult for me at all. I
Perfect.
had accepted it that it was part of life and it's part of getting to know people, which I love. And so that is the biggest breakthrough, I think, that people don't see the potential in sales. Really great salespeople actually love people.
Mhm. Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing. So if anybody wants to, connect with Katrina about sales, she does one-to-ones, she can help you. So reach out to her, or we'll obviously put all the descriptions in the, everywhere where it goes, to YouTube and Spotify and all these things. And thank you very much, Katrina, for waking up so early and doing the podcast with me today. And I'll see you for sure if you are coming. You mentioned you've been on all of them to a mega success in
Yes, I will be there for sure.